Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about Nyquist stability criteria. Now, Nyquist stability criteria is actually dependent upon the principle of argument. What is principle of argument? This principle of argument is an engineering application of the concept of complex variable theory. Now, what is there in principle of argument? I just want to say briefly. If suppose there is a single valued function and it is having certain amount of poles in the S-plane. Now we know that poles and zeros of a system, they are the singular points, because you cannot define the system because if you put the value of zeros, it will be basically this function will be 0, and if you take the value of poles with and put it in the value of s, you will find an infinite number that you cannot define. So these are two limiting values you are getting from substituting value of s when the values are zeros and poles. So they are singular numbers, singular points. Now if we chose a arbitrary path in such a way that it doesn't go through any poles and zeros, that means it doesn't go through any singular points, then the corresponding locus, you are choosing the points in the S-plane, and the corresponding locus in 1 plus GSHS plane, if you get, that means it is actually on conformal mapping. That means you are mapping the value of S plane, because you know the characteristic equation is GS into HS, and if you take, you will get a transfer function, and if you put different values of s, what you will get, if I take it as fs, then this fs is my single valued function. So if you change the value of s variable, you will get different unique value of fs. What you will find that when you change different values of s, and you will take the value of s, not poles and zeros, you will take the points which are actually you can define the function there, and corresponding what you will find that these corresponding locus mapped in this fs plane will encircle the origin as many times as the difference between number of zeros and poles, number of zeros and poles of fs that are encircled by the S-plane locus. This is basically the statement of principle of argument. Now I would like to explain it in a way, just give me some minutes. So what we are getting that if we actually we are going for a mapping S plane and fs plane. What is fs plane? It is actually 1 plus GSHS. You will put distinct values of s, and you will get different values of fs. Now what is principle of argument saying? That you will get the encirclement. If you go for a closed loop path in S plane, you will also get a closed loop mapping in fs plane, and in this mapping you will find that you are encircling the origin of fs plane. How many times? It will be number of zero minus number of pole times. So this is principle of argument. From this we can write this expression. This is the expression, this is the equation form of principle of argument. What is that? N equal to Z minus P. That is the encirclement of the origin of fs plane. How many times? Number of zeros minus number of poles. Now from here we actually able to draw able to draw or understand Nyquist stability criteria. But before that, we should understand what actually Z is, what actually P is, what actually N is. Here you can find that they are giving these zeros. What is the zero? You are getting that P is number of, not what we know, what is P? P is number of open loop poles of GSHs in the right hand side of S plane. It is given. It is a simple thing. If you have a GSHs transfer function, what we call open loop transfer function, P will be the number of open loop poles. That means open loop poles means poles of GSHs in the where right hand side, not in left hand side, only in the right hand side the number of poles of GSHs will be equal to P. Okay, now AZ equal to number of zeros of 1 plus GSHs. What is this? We will understand. And where? In the right hand side of S plane. This is also in the right hand side of S plane. And what is N? N is number of clockwise encirclement of minus 1 plus J0 point. Oh, okay. We will understand these three distinct points. And if we understand what this actually saying, we can able to understand what we can do with Nyquist stability criteria. So first take an example. You remember that what is P? P is the simplest thing. I am giving you the example of P. How can we get P? What is P? P is open loop poles. What is P? P is open loop poles. That means poles of GSHs. Where? In the right hand side, not in the left hand side. Okay. So if I take this example, this is an example. GSHs is this. So this is 0, open loop 0. Open loop 0 means minus 2. Open loop poles are S equal to minus 1 and S equal to plus 1. So which one is in the left hand side? This is in left hand side. Which was in the right hand side? This is in right hand side. As per definition in the previous slide, we know P is equal to number of open loop poles of GSHs in the right hand side of S plane. So how many right hand side pole are there? This is open loop pole. How many right hand side pole? Only one. So example, from this example we know that P will be 1. Though there are two open loop poles, but in the right hand side only one. So P will be 1. Okay. Come to this. Here it is given that what is P? P is right hand side pole, open loop pole. Is there any right hand side pole? No. So what will be the value of P here? P will be 0. So you can understand what is P, how to get the P for any Nyquist stability criteria. Okay. Now let us understand what is Z. What is Z? What has written here? Z is number of zeros of 1 plus GSHs in the right hand side of S. Oh, so complicated it is. Let's make it easier. Okay. So suppose I am giving you an example. I have this transfer function. Okay. So this is open loop transfer function. So what is the open loop pole here? Open loop pole is S equal to 1. Clear? Now if I want to get the closed loop poles. What is closed loop pole from? Can I get closed loop pole? Yes, I can get, because I know characteristic equation. From characteristic equation I get roots of characteristic equation. So roots of characteristic equation is nothing but closed loop pole, because I know the roots of characteristic equation is equal to closed loop poles. Okay. So what is from this open loop pole I can get closed loop pole. How? Because I know characteristic equation means 1 plus GS into HS equal to 0. Right? So if I write 1 plus 2 by S minus 1 equal to 0. This is my characteristic equation. So if I just add, I find that it is becoming s minus 1 plus 2, that means s plus 1 by s minus 1 equal to 0, right? So now if I solve the characteristic equation, what I am getting? I will get that this will be 0. So s plus 1 equal to 0 will be my characteristic equation. Now understand carefully. This is my characteristic equation. This part is the numerator part of characteristic equation. This is the numerator and this is the denominator of the characteristic equation. Now if I get any transfer function, polynomial form of any transfer function, the numerator part I call it 0 and the denominator part I call it as pole. So when we solve this characteristic equation, what will we get as closed loop pole? We will get s plus 1 equal to 0. This will be our solution. So what actually we are getting? We are getting only the numerator part. Denominator is absorbed in 0. So there is no 0, no denominator exists in this closed loop pole calculation. So what is remaining? The numerator part is remaining, and we know that it is what is numerical part called? Numerator part is called zeros, right? So we can write this is basically zeros of, now what is this? This is the expression is 1 plus GSHS. So this is basically, this expression is actually zeros of 1 plus GS into HS. So zeros of 1 plus GSHS is nothing but closed loop poles. Understand? Zeros of, it is just you just giving it in a different, just giving a different name. This is nothing but closed loop poles. So we can write that roots of characteristic equation is equal to closed loop poles is equal to zeros of 1 plus GS into HS. Okay, now just come to this line and understand number of zeros of 1 plus GS HS. So that means I can write number of closed loop poles. Instead of it, I can write number of closed loop poles in the right hand side of S plane. So how many closed loop poles? I will get, what is Z? I will get how many number of closed loop poles in the right hand side. We know if one closed loop poles even in the right hand side, the system will be unstable. So this Z is giving me whether the system is stable or unstable. So what is Z? Z is nothing but number of closed loop poles in the right hand side of S plane. Now from open loop pole, how can I get this whether any closed loop poles are in the right hand side or not? For that I need number of encirclement. So we need to understand this part now. Okay, so we are going to understand number of encirclement, how we can get the number of encirclement. So now we are going to get what is N. What is N? That means what is encirclement. For that, what I am going to do, I will take the function fs. What is fs? Fs is 1 plus GSHS. 1 plus GSHS. So 1 plus GSHS means 1 plus 2 by S minus 1. So if I solve this, I am getting that Fs equal to S plus 1 by S minus 1. If I think of this is the S equal to minus 1 is 0 of Fs, and S equal to plus 1 is pole of Fs, right? Now what I am going to do, I will take distinct value of S except minus 1 and plus 1, because these are two singular points as we have discussed previously. So we will take all the points except the singular points and find what will be the values of Fs when we take different values of S. So first let us draw. So what is the 0 of Fs? 0 of Fs is in the left hand side. So I am getting that the 0 of Fs is in the left hand side. So it is here. And where is pole? The pole is here. S equal to plus 1 is pole, S equal to minus 1 is 0. Now what I am going to do, I am going to first move around the value of pole in clockwise manner. How I am going to move? I am going to move with different values of S except this value. I am going to move in a clockwise direction and I am going to make a closed path around this pole. So let us start from here. Suppose this value, I am taking this value minus J1. I will take different values of S and get what are the values of Fs. What value I am taking first? I am taking minus J, then I am taking 0, then I am taking plus J. Okay, then I will take, suppose the value of this is 2 plus J, and then this will be minus 2, and then I will take minus 2 plus minus 2 minus J, and then I will come to the back to my first position, that is at minus J1. So if I take these points, I am actually encircling this pole of Fs. I am encircling the pole of Fs. Now first I will take only 3 points so that you can understand. First I will take the value of S equal to minus J1. Then I will take the value of S equal to 0. Why I am taking this value in this fashion? Because I am going in a clockwise direction, moving in a clockwise direction. That's why I am going from lower this value minus J, then 0 to plus J. So there I am moving in a clockwise direction. So I am going to plus J. I am taking these 3 values for simplify my calculation. So what the value, if you put it here, you will find that I am not doing the calculation. You will find that after putting the value S equal to J1, you will find that you will get S equal to minus J1, you will find that value will be plus J. Okay, so this will be plus J. If you put the value of 0, you will get it will be minus 1. And if you put the value of S equal to plus J, you will get this value will be minus J. So that means if I draw the values of Fs plane, what I am getting for S value equal to minus J1, the Fs value will be plus J. So the plus J means suppose here. And then for value of 0, I am getting this will be at minus 1. So it will be here. So, and that means when it is going in clockwise direction, in Fs plane it is coming in anti-clockwise direction. And if you take this point, the substitute will be minus J. Okay, and if you just go in clockwise direction in this way, you will find that finally you will come in the anti-clockwise, encircling the origin, come to the first point, that is here. Okay, so that means if you go around a pole in Fs plane in clockwise manner, you will find you will encircling the origin of Fs plane in anti-clockwise direction. So you are going in a anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Similarly, if you just move around this 0 in clockwise direction, if you want to move around this 0 in clockwise direction, suppose it is you are going in this way, so it will be a clockwise fashion. Where how you will go? If you want to go, you will go, suppose this is my minus 2 plus j. So from here you will going to j1, then you are coming to 0, then you are coming to minus j1, and from minus j1 you are going to minus to minus j, and then again you are going to and following the point minus 2 you are coming to minus j plus minus 2 plus j. So in this way you are going in a clockwise direction. You are encircling the 0 of Fs in clockwise direction. So if I take these 3 points, so if I want to encircle the 0 in clockwise direction, I have to take the value of s. First I have to take j1, then I have to take 0, then I have to take minus j1. And what will be the value I will get? The similar function, similar thing. So for j1 I will get, it will be minus j, for here it will be minus 1, and for this it will be plus j. So if I draw the points in Fs plane, what I am getting? I am getting for the first point Sj1, it is at minus j. So minus j means here. Minus j means here. Minus j. Then it is coming to minus 1. Then it is coming to minus 1. So this means in this way it is going in a clockwise fashion. And then it is coming to plus j. So it is going in a clockwise fashion, and if you go in closed loop in S plane, you will find this is also going in a closed loop in Fs plane, and the direction of rotation encircling the origin, the direction of rotation is clockwise. So that means when you are actually going around a 0 of Fs in clockwise fashion, you are getting that the encirclement of the origin is in Fs plane is also going in the clockwise fashion. Whereas when you are encircling the pole of Fs in clockwise fashion, you are getting the anti-clockwise encirclement of origin in the Fs plane. So from here, that means if there are one pole and one 0, what is the net encirclement of origin in this Fs plane? The net encirclement will be 0. One is clockwise, one is anti-clockwise. So it will be 0. So suppose if two number of zeros are there and one number of pole is there. So 2 number of encirclement of Fs plane in anti-clockwise direction. So 2 encirclement for 2 zeros in anti-clockwise direction and 1 encirclement for pole in clockwise direction in Fs plane. So that means what is the net encirclement? Net encirclement will be 1 in anti-clockwise direction. In this way, this thing acts. So in this way we can get the encirclement in. Now here we have discussed the encirclement of. Now from this I would like to tell you another thing, that another definition comes that is very important. What I am telling, encirclement. What is encircle? What do you mean by encircled and enclosed? These are very important terminology of conformal mapping. So you should know what is encircled. Now encircle means a point or region. A point or region, a point or region in a complex function, is said to be encircled, by a closed path, if it is found inside the path. If it is found inside the path. This is the definition of encircled. And what is enclosed? A point or region is said to be enclosed by a closed path if it is encircled in the counterclockwise direction. So what is enclosed? A point or region in complex function is said to be enclosed by a closed path if it is encircled in the counterclockwise direction. This is encircled and enclosed. Now from here I would like to tell you something, that when we have defined the definition, as per definition, the number of clockwise encircled of -1 plus j0 point. But I have told you that the number of encircled of origin at Fs plane. Now what is the difference? Number of clockwise encirclement of -1 plus j0 point, how it is coming? I am just going to explain that. So when we are talking about the encirclement, we have discussed that in Fs plane we are getting encirclement of the origin. Origin means 0 point. Origin means this point. This is my origin. Okay. Now what is Fs plane? Fs plane means 1 plus GSHS. Now if you understand, when we are going for stability analysis in root locus also, we have done the stability analysis of closed loop stability of closed loop system by virtue of open loop transfer function. So what is open loop transfer function? This open loop transfer function is this. The GSHS is the open loop transfer function. So what is origin at S plane? Origin at Fs plane must be Fs minus 1. Fs minus 1 for GSHS plane. So origin at Fs plane means -1 point in GSHS plane. -1 point in GSHS plane. Origin of Fs plane can be equal to -1 point in GSHS plane. So what is -1 point? -1 point means, if it is my GSHS plane, that means the encirclement of will be not the origin, it will be of -1 point. -1 point means, as it is a complex plane, we can write it as -1 plus j0 point. So -1 point is nothing but -1 plus j0 point. So encirclement of origin is Fs plane is equivalent to minus encirclement of minus 1 plus j0 point in GSHS plane. That is why it has been written here that number of clockwise encirclement of minus 1 plus j0 point, it should be that in GSHS plane, because you can understand everything we have considered P is in GSHS. Zeros, it is basically also closed loop poles of the system. That is also basically we can able to determine from this and this part we will from the drawing we will get, this is we will get from transfer function, we will get it from our drawing, and we will it will get it from our diagram, and we will then get the stability criteria of closed loop poles. This is Z, what we are going to determine. So these and these must be in same plane. What plane? This must be in GSHS plane. That's why we are not taking Fs plane. Instead of that we are taking GSHS plane. That's why we are not taking number of clockwise encirclement of origin. Rather we are taking number of clockwise encirclement of minus 1 j0 point. I hope you have understand the primary thing. In the next lecture we are going to discuss how we can draw the Nyquist, or we can comment about Nyquist stability using some example. Thank you.